Now, y'all, that was the stupidest question somebody could ever ask. Everybody know damn well that's the fight I'm chasing. You got the right one to play with. This ain't Jorge Cota. This ain't Jorge Cota. Oh, Jorge Cota gonna start speaking Spanish when you start talking and be like, oh, nah.
What's going on, you guys? Tony Superbad Harrison got a fight coming up March 12th with Tim Tszyu. Going out to Australia and do what it do. Hit that like button for your boy. We on Bushido Boxing TV. This is where we gonna be. But Tony Superbad Harrison said he's on a chase. He's on a chase for Jermell Charlo. And he finds himself in a situation to where he could be done chasing once and for all. But first he has to get over the hurdle by the name of Tim Tszyu. Should be a great fight, right? But Tony Superbad Harrison said he's chasing Charlo. That's the fight. Everybody knows I want that fight.
I only want one guy, and I'm done. I only want one guy. I'm out of it. You probably get. I'm going in the rafters after that. Like I want one guy. I'm in the rafters. I want one guy. Listen to me, B. If I could just skip everything else, I wouldn't fight nobody. If he just said he would fight me right now, I'd be like, all right, you know what, Tim? Go fight somebody else. All I want is one guy. I want one guy that got what I thought I gave to him.
Tony Harrison and Jermell Charlo, in my opinion, was one of the great rivalries, that we had in the modern era of boxing. It seemed like they should have went 1-1, right? They 1-1. I think they need to break that tie. It's only right? And when you listen to a guy like Tony Harrison, who I feel like he seemed like he's becoming more of a fan favorite, right? Despite his shortcomings, some of his fights, right? A lot of the fights that Tony Harrison lost, he was winning until, he lost focus. But it seemed like he became a fan favorite over the past few years. And I think it's mostly because of his attitude, right? Tony Harrison, he has that throwback mentality, right? He's all about being a man, carrying yourself like a man. At the end of the day, yeah, it's a business, but it's all about grabbing your nuts and being a man, right? This is the attitude of Tony Superbad Harrison. And by the way, he said that Errol Spence Jr., by him coming up to 154 pounds, if I get them, there's no Terrence Crawford at 147. He's not coming back down. So that's something that we've been speculating in. A lot of Errol Spence's peers feel that he's not going back down. This is too much. He's already at the weight for too long. Yada, yada, yada. He's not coming back down to fight Terrence Bud Crawford. But we'll talk about that some other time. But Tony Superbad Harrison, man, became a fan favorite. I think people like his attitude, right? And he's going back for Jermell Charlo. Now, Jermell Charlo don't necessarily seem too interested in a trilogy fight. However, I think push came to shove. Jermell Charlo would have to face the fire once again. That is Tony Superbad Harrison. I'm not sure if Jermell Charlo is looking to move up to 160 pounds anytime soon. I think as long as his brother is there, he's going to remain at 154 pounds. Who, in Tony Harrison's words, mastered the weight class. Jermell Charlo essentially mastered the 154-pound weight class. Fought some of the toughest guys, and he beat some of the best guys at that weight class. One of those guys being Tony Superbad Harrison. But Tony Superbad Harrison is on the chase. He's on the chase for Jermell Charlo. He said that's the only fight that he wants. He said if he can have that just one fight, he'll be done. And I feel that Tony Harrison right now is motivated. Of course, if you don't know, he's a trainer as well. And his fighter, Alicia Baumgartner, has just become undisputed champion, right? Just become undisputed champion. So that should be motivation for Tony Harrison. Should be interesting to see how this storyline plays out. We like to talk about the rivalries and the matchups over here on Bushido Boxing. And the rivalry that I felt that should have carried on to a trilogy was the fight between Jermell Charlo and Tony Superbad Harrison. It was a great build-up, great animosity. They don't like each other. It was a real deal. But we go see what happens. Of course, Tony Harrison has to get past Tim Tszyu, right? He has to get past Tim Tszyu. Now, he said he don't see anything Tim Tszyu could do that's going to give him any problems. He don't see any way that Tim Tszyu can beat him. He said he's going to go out there and have fun. He's motivated. He's itching to get back active. And we're going to see a lot more. Hopefully, we can see a lot more of Tony Superbad Harrison. A lot of the guys that we haven't been seeing as much seem like they really, really eager to get back in action. Jared Hurd, amongst other guys that we haven't seen in a while, they seem to be really eager to get back into action. So we're going to see if things start to materialize. Now, as we know, guys like Tony Harrison, he was insinuating that he's been out for so long because, well, guys, he's having a hard time getting guys to fight him. Tim Tszyu been out for an equal amount of time. Salute to Tim Tszyu for taking this fight. I mean, this is a tough fight for Tim Tszyu as well, you know. Salute to Tim Tszyu for taking the fight with Tony Harrison. But if Tony Harrison gets his hands on Jermell Charlo, the chase, will Jermell Charlo acknowledge Tony Harrison once again? Yeah, I knocked you out in the second fight. But I know it's itching Tony, because Tony said, you know, it's one of those things where I won't even be able to, it's a nightmare for me. I got to see this dude again, whether it's for a belt or not. I got to see him again. And as a fight fan, maybe it's just me, but as a fight fan, as a man, I got to respect it. I got to see this dude again. I don't care if he can knock me out. I don't care about none of that other stuff. I got to see him again. Why? Because I believe I can beat this dude. And sometimes the fighter wants things like this happen, but the business don't allow it to happen. And then, of course, you got legion of fans who co-sign the business of boxing. Oh, well, he don't deserve a fight. What has he done? All this other foolishness, right? But you got to like the attitude of guys like Tony Harrison, who carries that throwback fighter mentality. And this is why I feel that fans starting to gravitate towards Tony Superbad Harrison, because he has that throwback mentality. Grab your nuts, man up, and let's throw down. That's the attitude of Tony Harrison. That's the attitude of Tony Superbad Harrison. So we going to be paying attention to this storyline with Tony Superbad Harrison. If he can get past Tim Tszyu this upcoming March, he puts himself in position to get that trilogy fight that he's been looking for. I think it's a good fight for boxing. I think it's a good fight for really both fighters. You know, Jermell Charlo don't seem like he's too interested. Maybe he will if Tony gets past Tim. He'll have to. But we're going to see what Jermell Charlo's. I just feel like Jermell Charlo's like, you know what? Yeah, I got him in the second fight, but we got to break this tie. We got to break it. This is what boxing is about. It's about the fights and the rivalries and showdowns like this between Jermell Charlo and Tony Superbad Harrison, which, in my opinion, is one of the better rivalries we had in the modern era of boxing. But tell me what you guys think. Tony Harrison said he is on the chase. He's on the hunt for Jermell the Lion Charlo. Like, subscribe, holla at your boy. Peace out.